In this session, we'll cover how to build your first AI agent in 25 minutes without any coding. And I'm here with Arvell Craig, and he's an AI strategist and author, coach, and he works for BotBuilders as well and doing a lot of cool stuff there. Matt Lice told me I have to have him on for this session. So I trusted Matt, obviously. And here we are, and he's going to dive into some really, really cool stuff. He showed me some stuff in the pre-chat here, and you're in for a treat when it comes to AI agents and a little more advanced stuff you probably haven't done. So warm welcome to the session.
Thank you, Naveed. Glad to be here. It's going to be good.
Absolutely. So Matt obviously introduced us, and tell me a little bit more kind of what it is that you do for BotBuilders, and now with AI agents, which we are going to get into. That's quite a promise, how to build your first AI agent in the next 25 minutes. We're going to actually take you from like a beginner to more advanced. We might show you some stuff in ChatGPT, some other tools here, but definitely stick around. You're going to get some really, really solid value here. But before we kind of get into the screen share and demonstration, Arvell, tell me a little bit more about the work you do and kind of how you got into this.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Naveed. So Arvell Craig, I'm at BotBuilders. I'm the director of artificial intelligence at BotBuilders. BotBuilders, we build chatbots, been doing it for 7, 8, 9 years. I'm a recent hire. I've actually been building bots since 2017 myself. So I've known of Matt and the team in the industry. Turned out they're a 10-minute drive from my house. So a freak of nature, just a random opportunity for me to work with them. So I do 2 things there. I oversee some of the chatbot clients and building bots, how to pretty much improve the systems. And I'm using AI to improve our processes, to streamline the process. But I'm also I run an AI mastermind at BotBuilders, and I'm doing AI outreach for, again, how can we be a leader in using AI and teaching AI for our customers? So that's pretty much what I do there.
I love it, because Matt told me you are basically better than him when it comes to a lot of the AI stuff, especially like the practical stuff. Like Matt said, if you want demos, you got to have Arvell on for this session. So I was like, yeah, here we are. And then now I know we are in for a treat here. So why don't we dive right in? You have a lot of stuff prepared for us, so I don't want to waste any time. So let's just dive in.
Yeah, so let's get into it. I do want to set the stage. We want to talk about AI agents. I do think the definition, the term, what does it mean? It's a bit broad topic. And so I'm going to demonstrate some examples of AI agents, and then we're going to get into how to actually build them. But the first thing I think it's important to understand, like you got ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, you got these LLMs. Those are just chatbots. They've been around for, 3 or 4 years now, but they're not really agentic. They're not agents. And when you think about agents, it's like the evolution of a chatbot from just talking fast, giving you an answer. Eventually, ChatGPT had, what was it, like 03? They're like reasoning. Chatbots now can think and they can make decisions. And that's when you get into the agentic or the agent style of a chatbot, when it's thinking, when it's making decisions, and then ultimately it's using other tools and it's building stuff. So to me, that's kind of the transition. Just ChatGPT that thinks and makes decisions, thinking, making decisions, and using other tools to actually make stuff for you. And so I just think it's important people understand that there's a difference in how AI works or how ChatGPT works. I'm using ChatGPT in general, but the same applies to all large language models. Make sense?
And what are some easy ways to think about it when it comes to like, what should you actually create when it comes to agents? I mean, agents are all everywhere. People usually hype it up. Sometimes they are not as useful when you see like some tutorials on YouTube or whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of people giving away templates and here and there. But like from your experience, Arvell, what should people think about, and what is actually some useful agents? And maybe we are going to demo some stuff here as well. But what are some stuff people should consider as a creator and solopreneur in their business?
Yeah. So the big thing is, again, are you creating an agent or are you using an agent? Okay. So again, it's like, if you're a creator, you're not an engineer, you're not a developer. I'm not going to tell you to make your own mobile app if you're not a developer. So the one big thing with AI works great when you take what you already do, what you're already good at, what you understand the process, the SOPs, the best practices, and you use AI to replicate or automate you're delegating stuff that you already do. And because you do it, you can judge it, you can manage it, you can oversee it, you can tweak it because you know the best practice. One of the biggest issues I've had with people, I've been teaching AI since ChatGPT came out. I've written a book on AI. I do a lot of talks, and people like, oh, can I use AI to like make cold calls, right? I need an agent to build my business by making phone calls. I'm like, interesting. Do you understand TCPA? Like, what's that? Do you understand the laws of cold calling? Do you understand how to write a script? Do you understand that you can only call people 3 times a day? Or so just if you're not already doing the thing, if you want AI to do it for you, that number one, that's a caution. But if you do what you already do, what you're an expert at, what you already know, then you can use AI to replicate it. That makes sense. That's just a big thing before you get going down the aisle of using AI for doing stuff that you've never done before. I'm like, okay, let's find out, is there an AI already out there? Is there an app already out there? Because one of my favorite demonstrations of an AI agent is like Descript has an AI agent. Like, I'm not going to build an agent to edit video, but I'm going to find, because I'm not a video guy, I'm going to find an agent like the one in Descript called Underlord that can edit my videos and reformat my videos. And I can love to show you what I did this past week, where it would edit my video. It turned my YouTube video into a reel, and it also can create avatars and B-roll and all these kind of things for me. It just saved me time and energy, but I didn't build that agent. I used the agent that worked in the context of video for me, and that saved me tons of time, energy, and money. Make sense?
Yeah, that's such a good example, because I think you can do it very advanced. You can see N8N. You can do a lot of different things in there. There's other tools we're gonna show here today as well. And there's tools like Descript and also 11 Labs that I've experimented quite a bit with. I mean, you can clone your voice there, you can design a voice and all this kind of stuff, but they also have conversational AI. Actually, they are using it. You can check it on their website too. There's other people who have started using it. That's actually quite good already, because the voices are so professional and you can actually have almost like a real conversation. I tested it quite extensively. It's like you're basically, if you add to the knowledge base what they need to know, it's really good. And I just like what's missing is the video gets as good. It's not quite there yet for video to be as realistic, but I'm sure pretty quickly it's gonna get there as well when it comes to agents and stuff like that. So why don't we dive in, Arvell, what you're gonna show here, and then I'll probably have some questions as we go.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to quickly just show the agent that I used with video, because that can be practical for anybody. And again, for me, what's important is that for that one, I didn't have to spend any time learning and figuring out. It was so smart and so intuitive. I want to show you that. Then eventually I want to just go over ChatGPT and its agent mode and how that works, how you can access that. And then the last thing is going to be a demonstration of actually building an agent, what that looks like if you're so inclined to build one for yourself. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's start off with the Descript version. Yeah, so you can see here, this is the home screen of Descript after I logged in. And again, it's kind of like ChatGPT, where it's inviting you to have a conversation to tell me what you want to do. But what's powerful is I can edit, bring in a video, and I did that earlier this week. And then I can take the video and talk to the Underlord. Let me actually do this. I'm going to click edit. Let's go find the video on my desktop and quickly upload them. Here's the video. It's me. Put that there. So again, by default, it's going to give me transcriptions automatically. And Descript was famous because it was the first video editor that you could edit just by editing words, and it automatically changed the video, right? So that same feature, the fact that it can transcribe everything, makes using captions super easy, super intuitive, super quick. But again, the cool thing is that you see here, Underlord, right? So that's the main thing I want to show you, this agent that's already built into Descript, where I can take this video that is vertical, and for example, I can change it and say, make this video horizontal. Number one, I can tell it add captions, and I can say, why don't you throw in some B-roll or some stock images, right? The fact that I can do it in a conversational way, to me, that makes it pretty powerful. compared to, again, learning, going through the help desk, figuring out all the features, or like there's other video editors that does it all automatically. You give it to them and it cuts your video into 30 small, like, reels, but it does it all automatically. You're not really in control. So I'm always looking to find something easy, but if I can be in control, that's going to be important too. So
like Opus Clip, for example, it's an automatic clipper. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff there, but it's not as advanced for other stuff like Descript, for example, because Descript has become like a full editing suite of tools basically now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to jump down here. We're at 80%. It's almost done. And I think you were asking me before, what are some of my favorite AI tools, which we can get into later. But Whisper Flow is one that I do like. So I can talk to this editor down here versus me saying it or typing myself. So if you see me talking, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to the actual AI built into my computer that's going to take my voice and transcribe it and put the words down here as soon as it's done. We're at 98%. So again, the big thing here is that it can, here's Underlord, here's the button down here. Here's Underlord right here. I click that, opens it up right here. And I just want to say, can you change this video from vertical to landscape because I want to put it in YouTube? So that is just, again, natural language, giving it a command to edit and change my video's aspect ratio. And again, kind of like in other AIs where you see it thinking, and again, we'll show this in ChatGPT, you know it's doing stuff. And you can see here, it actually will tell you the plan. I will now update your video. So it does communicate with us and it tells me what it's doing. And you can kind of see the video right there just changed. And it's going to work through the process of reformatting the video, convert it. And then we're going to make one small change because my face is cut off. I'm going to let them know. My face is cut off. Can you make my video fit so it shows my whole face? And then use the section to the left of the video for the transcripts or for transcriptions. So this is what I had to do earlier this week.
Do you mostly use this for turning longer videos into shorter? I mean, I think that's maybe sometimes easier because you have already, let's say what we are doing here, we have a landscape video for YouTube or something like that, and then turning that into clips. I mean, for the aspect ratio and stuff, isn't that easier usually?
Yes, it is. It is. But again, when I was doing this week, I was like, again, I don't do a lot on YouTube. I normally do stuff in Reels. So I normally already have the things in a portrait mode. But I realized that I was able to make these changes. You can see here within Descript. So again, I want to start putting more video on YouTube. So I was pretty impressed when I went through this earlier this week. And you can see here, it did a pretty good job. Again, just by talking to it, it's doing pretty good at converting the video however I want it. And again, I can add B-roll, but this Underlord, again, the moral of the story is that Underlord is an agent that's built within Descript. And it is just like the concept or philosophy of ChatGPT where you're talking to it, but it's art, it's built into this platform. Because again, when people want to use AI or AI agents, I'm like, you don't want to start from scratch. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. You don't want to try to invent something that's already out there. So before you go into figuring out how do I build an agent or build an AI to solve ABC, do a search. Make sure there's no app already out there. Make sure there's no AI agent already out there that's already doing the thing that you want to have done. Because again, I've done so many talks and done so many events, and business owners, they like the idea, but because they're not, again, a subject matter expert, it's not their area of strength. So they're inventing stuff where, again, if I talk to you about podcasting, you already know what's out there. You already know the best tools. You already know how to do it, So again, that's a big gap. If you're going to use AI and build it from scratch, do something that you know all the steps. If you don't know anything about it, see if you can find an app or an agent that's already built, that's already created. Talk to someone that you know is an expert in that area and ask them, how would you solve this problem? Because again, making something from scratch with AI isn't always the best option, especially when there's things that are already done. So either way, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the best way. I wouldn't build like an editing agent from scratch. It would just be, you can probably do it. I mean, there's ways to do it, but this is way easier to already have a professional tool like this that already got the features. They are updating it. I'm sure even at this current stage when we are recording this, I mean, Underlord is just going to get better. I mean, probably in the future, it's going to be pretty crazy what you can do. And if it's already this good at this moment, and then, you know, you're probably going to have full edits. Like you can probably replace in the future your video editor, even more advanced stuff. But we are probably some time away from that, but still in the future,
Yeah.
I think the editors, they need to know AI basically, even if you're a video
Exactly.
editor.
Exactly. So the last thing I do, I just told it add B-roll. And so we'll just get that to finish and I'll just show you what it looks like with the B-roll added. And again, the big thing about what makes an AI agent an agent is the fact that it thinks, that it plans, and that it actually takes action on your behalf. So again, so Descript is a great example of the fact that I can talk to it and chat with it. But again, if I was in ChatGPT or any basic AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, those are great. But to me, I've always kind of steered more towards AI apps and tools like this that are intelligent and they're built on top of the AI. So I don't have to be a prompt engineer, right? You didn't see me using any prompting strategies here. That could improve it, but I'd rather trust the engineers that are being paid millions of dollars in Descript to do the prompt engineering. And I can, again, if you're a business owner, creator, you focus on your business. You're the expert at delivering value in what you do. Once you dabble into the AI world, yes, you want to be proficient and literate, but make sure you don't waste your time by, again, starting from scratch, trying to reinvent the wheel, doing something that's already, been done by somebody else. So that's just a good philosophy to think about when you're using AI. Okay. And it's generating images and we're just about done and we can move on to the next example. Great. I don't know if the sound's going to come out or not, but let's just see if.
No, but it's still pretty cool that it changes. It's difficult to turn vertical video like this to horizontal because of the squish your face or something like that. But it did a good job putting you on the side there, putting some stuff like B-roll or images and whatnot. But I think this stuff is just gonna get better. So you're gonna feel even comfortable to using a lot of this stuff later in your actual videos. Maybe at this point it's a hit and miss a little bit, but it's still great to test these things. I think what I would use this mostly for would be for turning longer videos into shorter, chatting with it, maybe even editing some of my videos. But this is like an agent. You have to kind of be there and chatting with it a little bit, and then it executes for you. There's also agents, I'm sure you will show this, that can kind of execute when you're not around, like an employee. You're not going to tell your employees every day to do the work. They're going to probably show up and they know what to do. There's also agents you can create like that. But this is an agent you have to actually be there and chat. Maybe in the future it's going to be different. So you can have your videos uploaded and then it's going to actually do the job. Let's see how it goes with the video editing. But if it's already at this point right now, you never know how it's going to be in the future. So I'm sure this will all improve. So what else do you have to show?
For the average person, it's going to save them lots of time and it just opens up opportunities, So that's what I
For sure. What is the next thing you want to show, Arvell?
Yeah, I just want to let's just take a step back. Let's look at ChatGPT and just cover how to use ChatGPT, how to access the agent mode that's built into it, right? And then kind of go from there. Let me see.
I think most people are actually not using that too much.
Yep. Okay, so again, the big thing that I'm pretty certain that agent mode, you have to have the paid version. So again, a lot of people use ChatGPT. If you're using the free one, I don't think agent mode is part of that. So you can see here the little navigation at the bottom. There is here, this is the agent mode, which in one sense, it might already turn on automatically. But if you want to be certain that agent mode turns on, you want to just click that button there. Okay. And so again, I think when ChatGPT first came out with their pro version, that was $200 a month. The core feature was called Operator. And the Operator was the fact that ChatGPT could open up its own version of a search browser and pull up any website on its own and execute tasks according to your prompt, according to your instructions on your behalf. Okay. So that Operator feature is now what is a part of this agent. So this agent feature uses two things that ChatGPT already had. Number one was the Operator, which was navigating a website browser. And number two was deep research. Deep research was the way, or you could say the reasoning model. It was the version of ChatGPT that could think and make decisions. So right now in 5, if I open up here, if I choose the thinking option version, instead of just letting it be in auto mode, the thinking version is like 03, if you remember those old models of it. So, but that's how you, well, I guess those are the features that make the reasoning model work. And so let me go back here. So the main thing is I can have ChatGPT open up a website and navigate a website. I can use it to create documents like a Google Doc, a PowerPoint, a spreadsheet.
Actually, that's interesting. I love in Claude, I'm using a lot of the connectors, kind of MCPs. I'm sure you have experimented quite a lot with it. And I think that's such a time saver. It's not like an automatic agent that's just going to go out there and execute everything for you. But like if you can just connect in ChatGPT to your Google Drive or to your Gmail or to Notion. I'm using Notion a lot to organize my content and everything. I mean, ChatGPT can actually access your Notion. You can actually chat to ChatGPT with your Notion, and with the agent mode, I'm sure it can do more stuff with it. But even with just the connectors, it can actually execute. Claude can do a little bit more with it. Like I just felt the integration with Notion was better, but you can do quite a lot. So they can access documents and stuff like that that would probably take you quite some time. Maybe your Google Drive is a mess, and then you can actually find stuff. I mean, Gemini also has some features, so you can do that. But I think this is pretty solid if you're already using ChatGPT.
Yep, definitely. And I'll give one tip that it's a minor tip, but I'm using the desktop app on my MacBook. The website version of ChatGPT is actually a lot better. I don't know if you notice the differences. There's been times when
I see that sometimes. Yes.
It's been stuck when it comes to image generation, the different features. I'm hoping we don't have any issues here, but I do want to highlight that if you use the website version, I do find it works a little bit better.
It's the same with a lot of these web apps, because I even see that some features sometimes you can only like do the settings, like the full setup properly with some instructions, or maybe even connectors sometimes work better from the web version actually. So yeah, might be something there. Usually it works like the app version or the desktop, but it's not always the case.
Yeah. So we can come up with a task here. I'm trying to think of something. One thing about when you're using agent mode in ChatGPT, to me, it's kind of slow. So again, it's a different way of working with AI. When you're just in the basic chatbot, it gives you the answer relatively fast. Once you turn on agent mode and you give it to start thinking, to take your time, the quality increases dramatically. But it does take time. There's this research that shows the slower the AI is, or the more time you give it, the higher quality the results. So for this project that we're going to do, let me just see here. Let's just do some research, right? Let's just say, can you do some research on BotBuilders and create a 5-slide presentation that I can use to present about the company? So again, imagine, I'd say for lead generation, for creators, you've got a client coming up, you can enter information about them and their company, their website, their LinkedIn. You can do research, because again, I've got the thinking mode on. Again, and this prompt is very, very basic. We could have added a lot more details, a lot more instructions, but I mainly want to highlight that the agent mode inside of ChatGPT can create presentations. That's kind of the goal here. It can create a basic draft of a PowerPoint presentation. That's the main thing I kind of want to highlight. If you're not aware that it can do that, and again, to me, creating a first draft, and it's going to be, you can open it up in Google Slides or PowerPoint to make more revisions on it. But that is one of the things that it's like ChatGPT is trying to not replace Microsoft Office or Google Workspace, but it's definitely trying to do the same amount of functionality that you're getting from those other platforms.
Yeah. Have you tried a tasks feature in Perplexity? Like that's something I'm experimenting with a little bit. It's quite cool. It's like a little bit similar with that's their version of agents, because you can schedule things and it kind of runs. If you want to do a competitor analysis report or something, once a month, you can schedule it. I don't know if ChatGPT has a similar feature, so you can actually have something run in the background, or you have to always be there with the agents and then it can execute. They don't have any automatic features, right?
There is a task feature where it's supposed to be able to do things for you and reminders for you. It's not great. I haven't done much with Perplexity in a while. So here's an example. I'm going to jump onto the browser where I think it is working, but in my mobile desktop app, it is not showing. So I'm going to just switch over to that, and I'm going to assume that it probably is working there. The first step was only 3 seconds, but we couldn't see anything inside the mobile app. And so it's opening up a web browser. It searched for the BotBuilders website to get some ideas. Now it's gathering chatbot marketing statistics. And then, because again, it's researching, it's looking into how it's going to solve this problem. And eventually it's going to create some assets and start building out our presentation. So again, the thing about agents inside of ChatGPT, to me, it's not fast. Nothing wrong with that, but it's a different way of working with AI. I'm going to break down all the steps here. So it's just a different mindset with using AI. It's not a fast, quick response.
Add it to ChatGPT and then wait, do something else. Otherwise, you might waste time, actually. I mean, that's quite an important distinction here. Sometimes people want the agents, or they think because it's the fancy word out there and it's going to save them a lot of time. Sometimes we can actually not do that. I mean, depending on the task. But if you just like put in the prompt and basically telling them to do it, and then you do something else, if you wait for this, then you kind of waste time.
Yeah. And right now it's creating the slides now. So there's a difference. There's a setting here where you can change the view. There's a desktop view where I was just looking at it here, but then I switched it over to activity view so I can look at every single step that ChatGPT was going through in order to solve the request for me. Okay.
Where the slides are just coming in there and you can like import it to a Google slide or PowerPoint, whatever you want to do.
Correct. Once it's done, now I'm back to the visual version of it where I'm seeing the desktop. So yeah, it's going to create it should be a PowerPoint file format once it's done. And so again, it's cool, right? It's kind of like the Underlord. I gave it a task. It's doing it. It's thinking. It's making decisions. Again, my request was not very detailed. I always say you don't have to be a prompt engineer and it can do stuff. But if you do give it more specific instructions, you will probably get a better quality result, right? And that goes back towards my thing. If there's something that you are great at and you have an SOP, standard operating procedures, if you want to break down how you do what you do, step by step by step by step, that would definitely be very valuable to train an agent to follow your step by step by step by step process, right? So, but that's just some things to think about that will determine the quality of the result that you're getting. And
Speaking of presentations, have you tried Gamma? That's really fast if you wanted to do something similar. That's scary fast. You don't wait around. It's like very quickly. I love Gamma. Not for the content they have necessarily, but I love the platform and the brand. I think they're doing some really cool stuff. I would probably still customize a lot of stuff if I use the AI features because I want to make sure it's from me, but you can save quite some time. You can even clone websites and stuff like that. Whatever you call it, it's not really an agent feature, but it's like they're doing the work for you. It's kind of like the Underlord a little bit. They're creating the presentation. So there you go.
No, that's huge. Again, that was when I wrote my first book on AI. I was like, you can use AI, or you can find an app that already does it, or you can find an agent or like a Zapier. Back then it was just Zapier and Make that had some AI features and innate in is, or you can, hire someone to do something. But the fact that you're saying, yes, you don't want to build it from scratch. You want to, is there an AI tool that already does what you want to do versus you doing stuff from scratch? So each individual has to make a decision for themselves that, to me, everybody needs to master one large language model like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. Number two, you should find the AI tools that relate to your work, that relate to what you do for a living, which, because again, there's probably every niche, every industry, every specialty, there's probably going to be an AI tool that's already built with the integrations, with security, privacy, logins, restrictions, all those kind of things. And then there's agent builders, which we'll go to next, which if you actually want to build something, because the thing about ChatGPT, it's great-ish. Like you said, it's slower than Gamma. And I showed you Underlord. I can show you all the steps.
Probably why I don't use the agent feature a lot in ChatGPT myself. I don't use it a lot, but I think it's cool to show this because a lot of people use ChatGPT, obviously. So I think it's great to, it's just good to know. You should know the features in the tools, and I'm sure this is gonna get better. I mean, they probably want this to get better. I mean, it shouldn't be this slow, but at this current stage, it's like this. You have to go and do something else while it's running, and then you can come back to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I mean, there'll probably always be some change management, a new way to work with AI companions and assistants that, don't just give you a fast answer, but it's going to take time. So that is a whole new kind of approach to work that we'll eventually figure out. But it's definitely not fast. Like I said, I don't use it often either.
I love what you said about the other tools, by the way. I like that because a lot of people, they don't think that Descript and Gamma is like agents. I mean, it's kind of like that. They're executing a task for you. You're telling it to do something and it's doing it. I mean, there's other like AI website builders. It's kind of like a mini agent because they're doing the work. Like, so you're not going to build an AI website builder. If you wanted to use Framer, for example, I think they were one of the first ones that added a lot of this stuff. Now there's Hosting Air. There's many platforms that do this, obviously. But I think that if you want to build a website, you don't necessarily need to start from scratch. Is it as good as a professional website designer, like to add all the details? No. I mean, you might want that, or you want to add your own brand and stuff like that. But it's quite good. Like 10 years ago when I started, you couldn't get anything like that over 10 years ago. Even a template wasn't as good as the AI today.
Yeah. So we get spoiled. We expect it to be faster and better all the time. And this is definitely, I told it 5 slides, thinking that it would make this process pretty quick. However, and again, we can kind of come back to it and see what it's done, done.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's come back to this example if it's taken a little while, and then we can kind of move to the next, or if you wanted to show something else here. I know you have quite a bit of stuff you want to go over.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just show. I do want to briefly show Genspark simply because I love it. And it's like it's built on top of ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini. And again, a lot of these tools that are built on top of the large language model, I don't know, those engineers are spending more time on the user experience. They understand the use cases, I think, a little bit better. And so to me, it's the results of what I get. I think we're done viewing slide 2. It's just, I actually want to take this exact same prompt and I want to put this, and again, you could do this in Gemini, but I do want to show Genspark. You mentioned Perplexity, which has the comment browser. Let me switch.
They also have their labs feature. That's usually what is really, really powerful as well. And then you can do something one time in Perplexity. Might not need an official masterclass on this at some point, but you basically run a prompt, quite detailed prompt in Perplexity, or tell it to do something with a labs feature. That's like a toggle. I think you need a pro version to get access to some of these pro features. If you need a competitor analysis, or you want something every single month as a report, that is like a real agent. It's right inside a tool like that you might just pay, let's say $20 a month for. I actually got a 1 year free via PayPal. I don't know if it's available in all regions, but especially if you're in the US or maybe other regions as well, check it out in your notifications and get 1 year free of Perplexity. That's how I got it, actually.
I got the comment browser with that same offer, which I'm assuming is going to include it. So here's real quick. Let me just show you Genspark. What I like, at first I didn't like it, but all the different distinctive features are laid out super clearly. So again, slides, sheets, docs, developer, designer, clip. So everything is kind of laid out in that version, or it's laid out in this version. So at first I didn't really like it, but I can just go straight to what I wanted to do. So if I wanted some slides and I did the same thing I did before, I can go straight to the slide option, and it is pretty much quicker. And it's the way it communicates its steps. It's just very clear and easy to follow, which is showing me 6 steps: research, deep dive, more research in the market. Step 2, right? So I just really appreciate, I've learned to really love Genspark, which is just, it's $20 a month, just like ChatGPT and all the other ones. And it works really, really well for the most basic, all-encompassing features from design, from video, because it's using everybody else's image tool, it's using everybody else's LLM, it's using everybody else's, features and tools and like that. And so again, the way they built as a company from a chat, again, I'm not building the agent or the task step by step by step. I'm just doing a natural language prompt and its ability to get results relatively quick and fast. I really, really appreciate it. So you can see
Do they
here.
have any features to automate some stuff as well? Or is it just like similar to kind of chatting with it and then it executes?
I mean, again, I've never used a developer feature. So in the developer feature, there may be something like that can do it. You've got Claude Code, fully autonomous coding. But again, it's like, I'm not saying they're a copycat, but they are they're being inspired by every single thing that everybody else is doing.
I think most like the AI companies and companies coming out, they're actually going to build on top of models, like even the AI image and AI video tools like FreePic and OpenArt. They're basically building on top of a lot. I mean, they might have some of their own stuff, but they're probably never going to be the best. Even like Adobe Firefly from the big company Adobe, they are now realizing they're probably not going to be the best when it comes to image generation. Actually, they're not. So they are basically adding Nano Banana and other things inside their platform, and they're doing it for a reason. They're gonna be left behind otherwise, And they are even adding VO3, like imagine like Adobe, Google, they're like adding stuff. I mean, that's basically what's happening right now. So a lot of tools, they're basically adding other models inside because that's more user friendly for their user base. They already have users, and they don't want to lose their customers because there's a lot of competition right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to see if it could do the daily reminders and the plan that you said. Again, I haven't heard about it. I don't think they can, but I figured I'll just ask it. Okay, I don't think so. It's just talking back to me.
ChatGPT can do reminders, though. I think they can definitely do that.
Yep. So the presentation is almost done, and again, you can edit it and tweak it. But I just wanted to highlight again from that other view, you could kind of see all the different tools that it has built in. It's got the MCP access, so I can ask it about my calendar, all those kind of things. It has a browser in it too. So browser automation, clicking on buttons, logging on the websites on your behalf, making orders, shopping on Amazon. It has that. And technically, it's got access to 600 other MCP tools.
I mean, they must have Notion, right? I've used this a little bit, but I didn't like set it up yet. But I do. They do have Notion.
Yep. So
great
for that aspect, because again, it's like, there's so many AI tools, so many of them do the same thing, right? They, like you said, they're all sharing and copycatting. So again, for every creator, the goal is focus. The goal is to be an expert at one or two tools and go deep into that thing versus jumping on every new shiny object. And that's 5% better. That's why Genspark was my decision for an AI browser, because this is a version of Chrome where I can bring up the agent and talk to it while I'm browsing. And it has all these other features that I mentioned. And if I wanted to bring up any other model, I can have direct access into GPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, and Grok within this one thing for $20 a month. So I don't have to sign up for every single other tool if I wanted, a different type of quality in the same kind of experience.
I do think there's sometimes a slight difference, like when you have integrated to a platform versus using it natively.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's memory that it won't have. There's memory, there's context, there's custom instructions, ChatGPT. Again, I still use ChatGPT as my main platform that I try to spend more time. And I've made custom GPTs. I give it custom instructions. It knows memory, it knows me. So that is my main place. This first one isn't good, but the other ones are decent. Again, with a one sentence prompt.
I think for sure Gamma has better design. I mean, obviously they should have. I think it's cool that it can do it though. Like from a tool like this, from ChatGPT and from Genspark, they can create slides basically. And I guess you can add that to your Google Slides and continue, maybe tweak it or whatnot. But
Yeah.
I would personally probably use Gamma for this type of stuff, but it's just seeing what is possible. That's kind of what an example is for.
Things that are specific niche. Descript is specific for podcasts and editing. Gamma is specifically for presentations. You know, this Genspark is general. It's a broad range of a lot of different things, you know, and that's the kind of the distinctions. And so I want to go into one more tool, if you don't mind. So all these are, we've kind of covered, you know, the agent that was in Descript, and then the agent mode that is in ChatGPT, right? And then I showed you Genspark, which has multiple different agentic features. It creates all types of different things. But the only thing is you're not defining what these agents are doing step by step by step by step. You're not controlling the workflow. When you think about a workflow, that's when you think about things like Zapier and Make and N8N, where you're taking it piece by piece by piece by piece, right? And you can control the entire process. And so one tool that I found was Lindy.ai. I think I'm already logged in. And so what I like about it is kind of gives the best of both worlds. So I can ask it a question and it can build apps just like Lovable and Bolt and these developer features, or what's Claude's thing? I forgot it's so all these tools have these features, but it also has like the Zapier aspect of a workflow where you can go through the flow builder step by step by step, and you can build a specific workflow that you need. Again, this goes back towards me saying, if you're the expert, or if it's a job that you do on an everyday basis, and you want to replicate or simplify your life by having AI do what you already do, that is kind of the benefit of using something like Lindy. So you can take it step by step by step. Actually, let me
let's give some examples on this, Arvell, because we have showed some more, I guess, simple ways to use agents, although maybe it's not called agents always, like in Descript. I mean, it's a video agent, but you're still like chatting with it, but it can still execute for you and doing some work. So that you might already use that. You might use ChatGPT already on the Pro plan, and then you have access to the agent feature. But this is obviously a more niche specialized tool for agents. This is a specific tool. N8N, for example, can also build agents, but that's then it's a little bit more complicated, I would say. You have to know a little bit more to do it. In Lindy, you have templates and other things. So maybe you can explain a little bit about that and what type of agents, especially a creator or solopreneur, would consider in this form when it's actually more hands-off. You create it and then it can run for you, kind of.
Yep. So, and that's the cool thing. And I'll just build one from scratch, and I'll show you because it has lots of templates built in. So again, I always like to compare it to what's already out there because everything is based on something else. So Zapier and Make and N8N, you'll find lots of templates and examples. And Lindy has that as well. You can go through here and you can see categories: engineering, marketing, operations, sales, support, use cases with emails, meeting planners, meeting recorders. So there's just want to show you SMS agents, phone agents, turning podcasts into blogs, web monitors. So all this is built in. Okay. Just wanted to kind of highlight what it already has in it. And if I select any of these, a weekly report compiler, which is what you were saying, right? How do I get a weekly report? Again, it's like here, there's a template for that, and I can look at it. It starts on a trigger, on a schedule. It uses Word, it uses Drive, it uses Slack, it uses timer. And if I were to just grab what was already in here, go into the flow editor, I can give it instructions and tweak and like things that people are familiar with. But one thing that makes Lindy unique, let me go back home. I'm going to click on new agent, and you can say, can you tell me again what you were wanting to do? You said you did research. Yeah. Weekly basis on podcasts that talk about business in the, I don't know, creator economy, that are on YouTube and Spotify and Instagram. I don't know. I'm just giving it. But the main thing is that I can use natural language. And from the natural language, we can have a conversation about it the same way we had conversations with Underlord, and I had conversations with ChatGPT, and I had conversations with Genspark. The only difference is that once Lindy starts creating it, I can tweak it piece by piece by piece, and we can go into this mode. And so now it's going to build the agent. Again, it's going to talk to me and show me what it's doing. But as we go through it and I make changes, you can see it being built. Start with YouTube every Monday. Why am I not talking? Every Monday. Put the results in Notion and send me an email. So a weekly agent that researches YouTube every Monday. It's confirming. Is that what you're looking for? I confirm. Should be good. But as it builds it, we're going to be able to edit the build right here on the right side of the screen, which to me is why I've decided that Lindy is going to be my main kind of focus, because it's kind of like Genspark. It's got a broad variety of tools that I can use. It's got a great community, a Slack community that's training, and I've been certified as an AI agent engineer through Lindy, through going through their training. They do a lot of it's a really good support system. It's a great product, and the fact that I can build it manually step by step and a conversational way as well. Let's see. Again, hopefully, it all takes time, but let's see how long it takes.
Yeah, when we are on live, it always takes longer, like for everything. But it's so cool that you don't need to have a lot of knowledge, it seems like, how to connect the pieces if you can just talk to it and explain what you need. Obviously, you have to know what you want a little bit, but then you can explain it, how you want it to work, and then it can connect together.
Yeah, you can see here what we have so far. First, we define the schedule, which is the trigger, which starts the thing to happen every Monday at 9. Then it uses its existing tool, YouTube Scraper, and the AI model that's going to scrape is going to be Claude, and I can swap between it using Claude. Okay, it's not working, but I'll just keep going. So in every step, the instructions of what it's supposed to be doing are either manually set, or you can prompt it for what to do in each step, or you can have it fully autonomous and have AI come up with everything for that step. So right now, we're going to just search the specific keyword phrase, and we can define how many videos. This is the research step. And then after it gets to research, this is where we can prompt it again with AI, and we can swap between Gemini, Claude, O3 through ChatGPT, or give me the ChatGPT models, O1, O3, Nano. So you can swap which AI model you want to use at that step. And then it's going to just do it on its own. And you define what does success look like. The analysis complete and successful. And then we're going to create. So again, it's like a Zapier. It's like a workflow people know. But again, we are having a conversation with it. I want to say change from Notion to a Slack message. So again, I can actually talk to it and continue to make edits via this chat area, and the changes again are going to be made specifically in the workflow that we see here. So there's a combination of, again, I could have just went piece by piece, clicked on these 3 dots, swapped it from YouTube. So now I can go into LinkedIn and I can scrape LinkedIn for content or somebody that's, job listing.
Let's talk about these connectors a little bit. These are like native inside of Lindy, right? So you connected, it's already connected there, so you don't need to do too much. Or do you need to get like your own API keys from the different platforms?
Exactly. That is another unique aspect. I do not need to have my own account, for example, in all the AI models. So Lindy is going to charge me credits. I don't have to log in separately, for example, in the AI models.
What plan are you on with Lindy, for if someone is curious what plan you might need to create a lot of this stuff? Because usually, some platforms, they do have free plans. I don't know if Lindy has that, but it's not always the most useful. You probably need a paid plan to actually get access to the more useful stuff.
That is definitely a caveat, or that is the thing with Lindy. I recently started paying $50 a month for the basic plan. Now that I'm using a lot more, I upgraded to 75, but I'll probably have to upgrade again. So it can be expensive to figure out what's and they'll help you, and they will help you come out with a more efficient workflow to minimize the cost that it'll take you to execute your campaign.
It's good to know, because you have to also see kind of how much time is this saving you, like for your personal time, but also maybe you have employees in your business or contractors, and maybe you don't need as much of their work, or maybe you can make them more efficient with these kind of agents. So then it might be worth the cost, even if it's $100 a month, or maybe you're scaling this up, so you have to kind of see it this way. I mean, I'm paying for quite a lot of AI tools. I think I'm paying for more tools now than I did before in my business, but it's also saving me a lot more time, and I can do a lot more with these tools, like different AI creative tools, like image tools, video tools, but also now with these kind of agent tools as well. I'm experimenting quite a bit. So yeah, you pay for more tools, we're also saving more time, and you don't need to hire more people. I mean, that's kind of what Sam Altman said. It's going to probably be the first billion-dollar company with, just one employee at some point. I mean, first 10, I guess, but it's coming. It's definitely happening.
Yeah. So let me show you. And if I wanted to test this, click on tasks, and let me show you real quick how it works. So the main thing is, let me deploy it first. Once it's done, what am I missing? Just do a test real quick. Schedule, I guess, is only on Mondays. But the main thing I wanted to kind of highlight was, I like using this type of product. To me, it's my sharpshooter. It is, because the credits is kind of expensive. I'm using it for very specific, high quality, where I need, because again, I can build it step by step by step. So I have a lot of control here. And even though it's more expensive, with that control, I'm only going to use it for things that I know are the highest value type of topics or use cases. So again, every tool is different. You're using some other models, it's unlimited. Because there's a limitation here, I'm definitely very specific on, I don't know what the issue is here. So there's a bug here with this one. I don't know what went wrong with the one tool. The main thing is that I like to use tools like this, very specific, because again, there's mass marketing, there's mass things that you do. When you focus on volume, then you would find a volume tool. To me, that's N8N. You can do high volume where you're not paying a lot per piece. This here is more my sharpshooter type of platform, where I'm using things that I know are very specific, that's going to solve a very high value problem. So, but I'm definitely pretty excited about what I'm doing with it right now. And again, I'll give you a view into the main agent that I'm working on myself. What makes it unique is not just the fact that this is a lead generation agent where we give it a target audience, it searches in its search tool. So again, I get access to data labs. I don't need a login for that. Through this enrichment agent, I've got a prompt here where it first uses kind of a Google search. It uses Perplexity. It uses LinkedIn and Parallel. So 3 different or 4 different tools to do research on leads. However many leads I want, it puts them in this spreadsheet. And then here I have a custom landing page generator for every one of my leads that's tailored to their name, their business, and my specific offer that I'm offering them.
What does that look like, actually?
It's not totally done yet. It's reading here. This is the starting computer, is that same browser use that almost every agent has, the ability to use a computer browser. So it goes to the computer browser, it uses HTML, and it builds out a custom page for the person.
Inside Lindy directly, they can build the landing page.
It's all Lindy.
Wow, that's cool.
So I'm looking for real estate agents to figure out bot builders and sales scripts for chatbots. So this is my template, but the personalized URL is going to be made for each individual person. And using this HTML code, it's going to build its own page for the person.
And I assume it puts the BotBuilders logo and all this kind of stuff. So it's like on brand.
From an HTML standpoint, yeah.
Do you have a video on the page, or how is the video, or how is the page structured? Can you use like HeyGen to automate with this to like have an avatar video so you can actually call them by name, or how does this work?
It's a great question. Probably, again, this is my little master lab project that I'm still tweaking. Like I said, it's not ready yet.
No, I just seen like potential, what you can do with it. That's why I'm like thinking, like, imagine having a video, and because you can do some stuff with the HeyGen API. I'm pretty sure maybe even in Lindy you can add HeyGen.
Bam! Look at that. You see it?
Yeah, I was thinking about that because they have an API.
Create a video from template. Create a talking photo.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can actually, and you can clone your voice professionally in 11 labs, and you have all of that. So it's your own voice, and then you have HeyGen basically, and it's pretty good with their with the Avatar 4 basically. Since the video probably is not going to be that long, maybe it's possible to do it.
But that's exactly what I had not gone through all the different tools in here. I said, let me just see it's in here. But yeah, HeyGen is a part of here. So I could, but again, my goal would be take the client, so the prospect's photo from their LinkedIn, make them the avatar.
No, it's cool. And then I guess they schedule a call or something. Or what's the call to action there?
Yep. It's gonna be it'll be a phone call just to get. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to offer them a free sales chatbot script that I'm going to give to them. So if they wanted to use it, then they would reach out to me. So yeah, so that's Lindy, the AI agent builder that to me is very practical and easy to use. Again, for $50 to get started. It's not as expensive as some others. Here was our BotBuilders presentation, which is not sexy at all. You know, Gamma is definitely better, but I just wanted to show you that did finish. I can download it as a PowerPoint file and go from there. But this is great, Naveed. I mean, we've covered quite a bit of stuff that depending on awesome. Yeah, there's so many options out there.
What other agents are you actually leveraging there? Are you leveraging more like high impact stuff? This is more expensive, obviously. So it's more for lead gen, because obviously what you're creating there generate money. So you're willing to spend on that. Is that mostly what you use it for? Because they do have some more basic stuff. They can probably manage your life as well if you wanted to. I mean, they have a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in there. Even simple email managers who reply to your emails for you, things like that. I'm so excited to getting those things trained and prompted, because they can work through my Gmail. So I can have at least go through my client database and at least make sure if my client responds, it's going to respond back to them or notify me. But I'll use it for email. I'm using it for managing just like spreadsheets, just like data. We've got, our high level instance and things happen, and I've got a team I manage. And so I've got a lot of real basic, like Google Calendar, auto invites, Sheets, ClickUp is our main project manager. So those are the things that I'm kind of building out that are more in the operations side of what I do. But I'm just trying to get out of those things so I can move more into the outbound sales area.
Yeah. What other AI tools are you using? You have already mentioned quite a lot here, but do you use anything else in your day-to-day or business?
Day-to-day, we mentioned Whisperflow for talking. I like mem.ai. They've been around for 3-4 years. Not kind of like a Lotion, but they're an AI note taker, or just you're like keeping all your notes. Here is like and Tana's another one. Those are in the PKM world, the knowledge management, productivity knowledge management people. But I use those a lot. No, but again, you probably seen on my main ones. Genspark, Lindy, ChatGPT are the ones that I'm using the most.
They're probably the coolest one, I guess. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, they have not even used like Genspark and maybe Lindy. So there are some new things to check out for sure. Do you have any final tips to get started with AI agents, or anything you'd like to share here as we wrap up the session?
Yeah. So, just to recap, before you build, Google and search and see what's already out there. Definitely don't start from scratch if you don't have to. I definitely say, again, the audience are really bad. I love to have interaction with the audience. Depends on who's here, but they're always going to be watching. But the thing is, you got to play around. I just want to encourage people to experiment more so that there's no disconnect between what AI can do. AI is great, but it can't do a lot of other things. Just make sure you spend some time every single day using AI. If you're not listening to 1 or 2 podcasts or newsletters every week, you don't need to sign up for everything. Pick 1 or 2 that you can listen to, your trusted sources. If you don't have an AI community, or if you're a bigger company, create an AI council where you can dedicate somebody on your team who will be the AI nerd that will find what's going on and bring them to you. But those are kind of, again, for bigger companies, that's kind of important. For smaller people, find you a community, find other people. Because in my communities, that's where I find the newest, best stuff. I try not to spend my time looking at everything, but as soon as somebody in my community mentions it, then I respond and I'll try it out. But besides that, yeah, just choose one large language model to focus in on, choose one agent platform to focus in on, try to go deep versus going wide. Yeah, that's pretty much, those are the big highlights for me.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, there's literally thousands and thousands of AI tools. I even have a list of like a few hundred that I categorized and stuff like that. And you're putting it on. Yeah, I mean, I've researched a lot of different ones, and it's pretty exciting. But as you mentioned, like if you're obviously brought on by Matt to BotBuilders, and because he wanted like a more of an expert on AI. So if you can do that, then you don't want to be in the weeds every day. You can also do that. If you have a bigger company, you can hire someone like that, and then you make sure you're on the cutting edge. And I know BotBuilders are doing some cool stuff, so we're gonna link up also a training for BotBuilders you can check out. But besides that, where can people connect more with you, Arvell? I mean, where do you hang out?
Yeah, mainly I'd say LinkedIn. You can go to LinkedIn or Instagram. You can just search my name, Arvell Craig. You'll find me. I'm slowly putting out more content. Sometimes I get focused in the weeds, just doing stuff. Sometimes I'm out making content, but since I've been at BotBuilders, there's so much happening with AI. There's so much growth. There's so much potential. And it's surprising how many people are just getting started. Most people are just, if you're in AI, you know all about it. The average person doesn't hardly do anything. The average person only uses the free ChatGPT because it does so much. So there's just so much opportunity right now. So I definitely encourage everyone to be the expert in your area, be the leader, and you will find opportunity. The other people, the average person is you just don't know how much opportunity there is, but you just got to stay with it.
And be sure to leave your biggest takeaways in the comments below. And if you are going to get started with your first agent, do let us know. What are you going to create? And we'll check in there with you. So there's some really amazing stuff Arvell shared during this session, really, really practical. So I hope you implement what you learned during this session. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys very soon. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.